mid-century. The squat guy in a rumpled suit and crumpled fedora, carrying a big press camera with a flash gun mounted on its side, a stinky cigar clamped in the corner of his mouth. Central casting deserves only a little of the credit. Weegee is the man who created that image, and it has outlived his mainstream fame. People who have never heard of Weegee can describe him. He not only took hold of his life and redefined it. The image he created of himself lingers 50 years after his death, to the point where he has become an archetype as much as a person. He rather likes to pass himself off as a character, wrote John Lewis, an editor at the newspaper PM, where Weegee did some of his best work. He is, but not exactly the same one. The public-facing persona furthered his career, but it was the one within who framed the shots and pressed the shutter button. The man himself was real, and as an individual maker of pictures, he was both innately talented and profoundly skilled. But we will never quite know if he was merely first among equals. News photography during the early part of Weegee's career was almost always anonymous. When credits did appear, most of the time they attached pictures not to people but to institutional entities. The Associated Press, International News Service, Acme News Pictures. Besides, in the 1930s, virtually no one thought this stuff was art. It was made on demand for the next day's edition, and if it wasn't quite a disposable commodity, it was pretty close. Spot news, it was called, and even the work of a good photographer would be filed the next day in the paper's morgue, kept on hand in case the subject reappeared in the news. Unless it depicted something of ageless, recurring interest, the burning Hindenburg, say, or Babe Ruth as he put a home run ball in the seats. A picture might not be reprinted for 5 years or 50. Most often, it would never be seen again. A lot of news pictures eventually got thrown away. Even when press photographers were celebrated, they weren't invited to the party. In 1935, the American Mercury magazine joined with the book publisher Alfred A. Knopf to publish a big anthology of great news pictures titled The Breathless Moment. In its roughly 200 pages, not one photographer is named, and the introduction doesn't bother to apologize or explain. That's just how it was. Arthur Fellig's work was anonymous, too, until Weegee decided that it shouldn't be. He became Weegee the Famous because, beyond a doubt, his photography rose to a high level. His best pictures are intensely truthful. Some are painful, others unexpectedly warm, many others funny, touching, memorable. And, as we shall see, sometimes he would give the truth some extra help. But we also know Weegee because he was aggressive about letting people know who made those pictures. He was a constant, cheery self-promoter. This set him apart from his more diffident, now forgotten colleagues. An afternoon spent browsing their work in the New York Daily News or the Los Angeles Examiner will yield a few photos that hold their own next to Weegee's best. In the newspaper's file drawers, some of the prints will have the photographers' names scribbled on their backs. Others, poignantly, have surnames only, Peterson or Levine or McCrory, with first names forgotten by all but their grandchildren. Many other pictures carry no name at all. Were any of those men, there were virtually no women, consistent enough, reliable enough, aggressive enough to produce deadline art the way Arthur Fellig could? It takes nothing away from his achievements to say that some of them probably were. We'll never know. Weegee the Famous has come to stand for them all. And that word itself, Weegee, it may have been meant to obscure, yet its origins say a great deal about Arthur Fellig. To hear him tell it, he was a photographic clairvoyant, someone who got a mysterious tingle in his elbow when news was about to break, and who made his way to the scene just in time. Eventually, someone, in all the